Hi everyone, heartily welcome to Rendezvous with Roohi, powered by Instafeed and edX TV. I'm Roohi Dhingra and today we have with us students from DAV school. Heartily welcome all of you.
Thank you.
Good morning, ma'am. I'm Anushka and I'm from Humanities. I want to ask you that should we have a backup plan with us when we are deciding our career? Because I think that when we have a backup plan, we don't concentrate on our aim that much fully, which is required.
Anushka, first of all, a very nice question. And I would like to talk in two perspectives here. One, when we are deciding about our career, we should always have a plan B with us for two reasons. First, it depends which career we are looking at. Say, for example, my first career priority is to become a pilot. I'm just giving you an example. Now, being a pilot, I first even have to undergo the medical, a rigorous medical tests, right? I don't know whether I'll be able to fit in that medical tests or not. And then comes the second step. So in such careers where you are not sure about how the obstacles are going to come and is it a smooth, moving for you ahead in that career, you should certainly have plan B, right? If not this, then what? And if you do not have that plan B in your mind in initial stage, then if in case you fail to pursue that your plan A, where you were very rigid and you were passionate to do it, it will be disheartened. I've seen students going to depression. I've seen students harming themselves because they were totally lost. They are not able to accept any other option. So let's make our brain little flexible. It's always good to have plan B, but it's always that one should be focused to achieve plan A. There should not be a chance given to shift to plan B, but in case if there are some circumstances that you have to come down to plan B, it should be acceptable with grace, right?
But if we talk about UPSC, then it is a very big and toughest exam.
Sure.
So when we are preparing for UPSC, then we also have to do graduation.
Bilkul.
But when we are doing a graduation from DU or any other such eminent universities, then our whole concentration is divided into that university.
Firstly, Anushka, for UPSC you need to be a graduate. So you will not be deviating your focus from graduation to UPSC or from UPSC to graduation. You need to complete your graduation first and then prepare for your UPSC. You can simultaneously do some preparation along with your graduation so that it's a strength with you that while making an attempt to UPSC, you have prepared for a longer time along with. Or probably you can opt for a subjects like political science, which can be again a helpful subject to attempt for UPSC or prepare for UPSC exams. So when we are talking about such exams like competitive exams, at that point of time plan B would be in case if you fail to clear that UPSC attempt, maybe twice or thrice you tried but you are not able to do it, still you have a plan B because you are a graduate. Either you can go for a job or you can any which day enroll for your MBA program, upgrade yourself and go for a corporate jobs, right? But I'm talking about just after grade 12 if you lose it. So even when students come to us and they ask, ma'am, we want to pursue CA or CS, I personally advise them, please start along with your, maybe on a correspondence side, you can enroll with your BCom degree along with, because that's again a profession or the education which is not easy, which is not for every student. I've seen students dropping at either the first level or a second level of CA, and then they stand nowhere because down the line the education what they have with them is hardly class 12th. And they cannot even pursue their masters because they've not completed their CA, because they're not even graduate. So at least if they have done simultaneously a correlated subjects which they have, like in BCom, they do not have to spend much of their effort and time. Simultaneously it can be accommodated because maximum of the curriculum of CA and BCom goes hand in hand. So it's easier for them. They can make an attempt and be a graduate simultaneously. Getting an education is never going waste. right? But at least it's a plan B, that in case if you miss out on CA, or you are extending it, or you lose your interest into it because you are not able to clear it at any point of time, at least you have a second plan B, right? So plan B is important to have, so that you are able to accept it with grace and move further, right?
Ma'am, thank you, ma'am.
Mention that.
Hello ma'am, my name is Siddhant Jain, and ma'am, I would like to question that today nowadays there is a huge competition in every field, and most of the streams use competitive exams for the selection of candidates. So I would like to ask what other aspects rather than knowledge these exams aim to check in a candidate, so that a few individuals become successful, and how can we develop such kind of persona that we can also become successful in a huge competition?
Nice question, Siddhant. See, every competitive exams, even if I talk of, say, after grade 12, has their certain aspects attached to it. There are certain competitive exams which would evaluate you on your basis of your science and maths. For example, JEE, right? There are exams like SAT after again grade 12, who would be evaluating your quant part, which is again maths part, logical thinking part, and your English part, how your the language skills are. Now if we are talking about, say, UPSC, so there you have even general knowledge, political science aspect attached to it. It all depends in or what is the purpose of making an attempt to that particular competitive exam, and they have a different aspects attached to it. Many of the times competitive exams, when we talk of, generally they have logical thinking part attached to it. What is logical and reasoning? It's again, they need to evaluate your logical and your reasoning abilities, right? We have maths again coming under the logical part of it. So your logical, reasoning and your communication part. These are mainly the components in many of the competition exams you talk of. Almost every competitive exam, you could say, they do not miss out on these aspects. There could be an element where they have different ratios or proportions given in the exam. You may have reasoning part lesser, you may have grammar part lesser. That could be the interchange between these exams, but normally they do have these all elements attached to it. In certain exams you would even have your general knowledge or current affairs attached to that questions or that exams. So you need to prepare for them accordingly. Yeah. So any other question? Sure.
So I'm going through your answers. I actually got a question that
Sure.
What if we find a conflict between our parents' choices and our self-interest in deciding a career?
At that point of time, you need a support of your guide, your mentor, your teacher, your principal, whosoever is there before you to assist you with that helping hand. It's not only about you have to go and talk to them, it's even about making them speak with your parents, because that guide or that mentor or a teacher can overview the perspective and the mindset of a student and parents, and can help you to come on a one page, on a same platform. There could be a possibility a child want to say do MBBS or do a pilot program, right? He wanted to become a pilot. Now these programs are really very cost engaged program. These are like where you need to spend lakhs or crores of rupees to get engaged for this particular degree, right, or enroll into this particular program. Now if your parents do not have that sort of funds to support, or even if we talk of, okay, you can go for a loan, right, but then again if your collaterals are not supporting for that sort of amount what you're looking at for loan, that's where we have to mellow down somewhere a mindset and counsel a student to accommodate with some other degree instead of MBBS, or work more harder to score well in NEET and try for a better college wherein he is able to go to the government colleges, and it can be a fitment to the parents' pocket size, right? So that's how the third person, who's your teacher, your coordinator, your principal, your counselor in the school, or maybe a guide or a mentor, a person like me as a career coach, could certainly help students and parents to come down to one platform. And at times it's like even parents are unknown to the new opportunities that students have, the new degrees they are talking of. At that point of time, it's a role of that, the mentor or a guide or that teacher to explain about the scope and opportunities and that particular program to the parents, because that's how they would trust on that particular program. They would not trust on this child's mindset or the information what a student is giving. At times they feel that they are just running after maybe the influence of their friends and they are talking like this. But certainly when it comes from a teacher, a counselor or a mentor, it makes a different impact. And they would certainly have certain examples and more information to share to make them aware and try to bring both parent and child come on one page to take a final decision, which is certainly in terms of a student's interest, and would certainly be good for the student, because it's something which is neutral and it's something which will be accepted while he's enrolling or she's enrolling into that program. Because when you go for higher education or wherever you go, whatever you do, the acceptance, what we talk of ourselves, what we need to accept is more important. Till the time we do not accept what we are going to do, we would not be able to perform and we would not have the satisfaction and happiness. So that's the first point to make an attempt, right? Any other question? Thank you. It was pleasure having you here. Thank you everyone. I hope these question and answers were really helpful to other students as well. Keep watching Rendezvous with Roohi.